Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Today I wanted to talk about the concept of how healing is kind of boring, and that's why most people quit. Healing is not aesthetically pleasing, it's boring. It's steady movement, it's consistency. It's just about showing up daily for yourself and, choosing what's right for you. It's those slight actions about like choosing sleep over mindlessly scrolling, choosing water over coffee, whatever it is, but it is sometimes boring. And we crave that like dopamine response again, and then that's why so many people quit. And that's why I want you to understand, if you are choosing to heal, you have to understand that it is going to be hard because it is kind of boring. You're choosing things that are better for you, but you don't see it mentally. Like your body is craving it constantly, and you're choosing to stabilize it now. You're choosing to feel you're supposed to feel, and feel what your body wants to actually feel, but it's craving this substance that you've been absorbing for so long. Like your brain is so addicted to seeing the highs and the lows, but sometimes you gotta get that middle sweet spot that is just where nothing is really happening. It's just casual and it's boring, but it's human nature. And it's just, I feel like the presence of seeing all the other people's highlights and seeing what other people are doing and talking about kind of pushes you to want these things again. But in reality, it's not like that. Everyone else is experiencing these like boring aspects of life. And it's not boring though, because you start to love it. It's just, it takes time. Those simple things of having like a cup of tea in the morning, like we don't notice so many things because we try to rush it. And, something about choosing to relax rather than forcing yourself to relax is just like so aesthetically pleasing. Like, having that cup of tea and seeing the steam rise from it, relaxing, breathing, and taking that time for yourself. You start to realize things that you kind of skipped over because you're rushing throughout the day, and no one's going to clap for you. No one's going to applaud you for going crazy, like, cheering you on for not going towards a toxic habit. But it's what you should do, and you should start applauding yourself for it. Sometimes that part of healing is just like, you don't feel alive, you don't feel like that rush, but you're not supposed to, you're supposed to relax. It's just as important as rest, when you're exercising or whatever. You gotta get that mental rest as well. Like, there's just so many aspects of healing that is not noticeable, but it is happening. The gears are turning in your brain, you just don't feel it. And it's more about like how you're not just, your body's not just moving towards something, you're purposely moving toward it. It's not like you're no longer, having a reflex or react towards something. You're responding towards something. You are choosing to do it, mindfully, instead of just kind of like going throughout the day and like, okay, I need to get my cup of coffee. I need to get this. I need to do this. And like it's like you're on a conveyor belt instead of like just walking and choosing the stairs. You know what I mean? You're moving without a choice. But healing, the power of it, when that boring aspect of healing is that you're choosing everything now. You see the benefits from it. You start to understand why you're doing everything, and I feel like it's so much more beneficial. I feel like my days are more full. I feel like my days don't go by so fast because I choose my days like properly, and I start to understand it a little bbit more. And it just feels more enjoyable instead of being like, I sleep and I wake up and I sleep and I wake up and I need to do this. And I feel like I enjoy it more. And I hope you do too. I feel like boring has such a negative connotation towards it, but it's not about being that like where you're boring, where it's just like you hate it. It's about peace. It's about really relaxation. It's about control. It might feel empty at first, but you confuse intensity with joy or something positive, or that you're being productive. But no, it's you need to have control over your body. That little guy switching, doing all the switches in your brain and trying to move around and choose what to do in life, is starting to relax. He's no longer like worrying about it. He's starting to breathe. He's like, okay, whew, I can look at my control panel. I can clean up my control panel now. I can, let me choose, oh, this switch I didn't even need. Get rid of this switch, like let that little guy in your brain like relax and chill and, know what he's switching the gears for. You know what I mean? It's not an end of a journey of something positive or, something that you'll miss. It's more about taking back control in your life. And I hope you see that, and I hope this video was positive and, you know, made you realize something that was beneficial towards you. But that's pretty much it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate every like, comment, subscribe, all those things. Every comment, I love reading it. I love seeing the positive feedback, even the negative feedback, because I like to, you know, see how I can improve and see how I can change up the style of my videos. But I hope to see you in the next video, and I'll see you next time.